Reading images. Are you able to tell what message an image is trying to deliver? In order to do that, you need to be familiar with a number of different elements and consider how they work together to create the message. For instance, consider who and what is represented. Can you see them on the deck of the ship? We know they're upset by what they're saying. Consider signs of emotion. SOS equals help. Exclamation points indicate more danger. Consider special terms. If you don't know what budget sequester means, look it up. The same goes for any other term that you don't understand. It's really easy to do a quick Google search that will give you the information that you need. Consider acronyms. An acronym is just the initials and stands for something else. GOP stands for Grand Old Party, which is the Republican Party. Consider connections. Here, the recent cruise ship problem is used as a metaphor for a national fiscal problem, which has been called a fiscal cliff. The ship is about to go off of a waterfall, which represents a cliff. And consider the hidden. Who's in charge of this ship? We can imply that it's the President of the United States. When we put it all together, we can understand that this cartoonist is pointing out the stupidity of adding to an already stupid problem. He is showing both Democrats and Republicans are responsible for the fiscal crisis our nation faces. And he's also showing that it is Americans who are in the most danger. How about this image? Consider symbols. Republicans are represented by the elephant, Democrats by the donkey. It's been that way for generations now. If you didn't know what they represent, you could look that up on the internet. Really easy. Consider expressions. Are they angry, confused, embarrassed? Here it's clear that the Republican expression is very angry. The Democratic expression not so much, maybe confused. Consider colors. Notice the red shorts and blue shorts? Red denotes Republican, blue denotes Democrat. There are other times color can be indicative of a particular concept. Consider what it might mean if that elephant were colored green. Maybe that would indicate envy. And don't forget the words on the shirts. Consider what's being done by characters. In this case, it's nothing, even though they look like they're dressed for a race. The only thing each is doing is refusing to accept any blame for the mess. This artist appears frustrated by the grumpiness of Republicans and the ineffectiveness of Democrats. He sees that neither party is working for the good of the nation, and one might infer that their lack of cooperation is related to the fact they spend so much of their time and energy trying to get re-elected. That is the race of greatest importance. And how about this one? Again, consider symbols. The Uncle Sam hat represents the U.S. China is represented by a caricature with a Chinese flag on his butt. Consider words. In this case, both are sneaking peeks at the other's networks. Consider relationships. The U.S. is on top and larger in this image. China is below and smaller. Consider current events. China has been accused of hacking U.S. computer systems. In this case, the cartoonist is pointing out a bit of hypocrisy. We, meaning media and citizens in the U.S., are outraged that China has been caught cyber-spying. However, the reality is that our government and corporations do a fair amount of this themselves. Still, we need to protect ourselves from this sort of intrusion. What do cartoons say? Again, take them element by element. Can you tell what side someone favors just by reading a political cartoon? Sure you can. Consider each element of a cartoon to discover what it refers to and how it is being used. Then consider all the observations you've made to come up with a supportable position. In the upper cartoon, we can support the idea that the image favors the Republican viewpoint. In the lower cartoon, we can support the position that the image favors a Democratic viewpoint. And what does this ad say? Consider hair, consider clothing, consider product color, consider product placement. Consider text, consider makeup, consider features, consider expression, consider the prop, and consider body language. You'd have to look at all of those elements to come up with not only the overt message, which is what Love's Baby Soft wants you to get, but also a more subtle message, one that we may not approve of. Here are some additional resources. And please note, there are many more ways of analyzing images than were presented in this brief lecture. It's most important to remember that 1, the details are incredibly important, and 2, if you don't understand something, do a quick net search to find out what it might mean. Thank you.